The red on-air light snapped on. A billionaire leaned toward his mic, dropped a line in Arabic that drew a few nervous laughs. Jayla's fingers tightened around the lav mic clip. One blink. Then stillness. He waited for confusion. The room waited with him. Silence stretched, clean and sharp. The billionaire's smile twitched first. Jayla lifted her chin. In Arabic, steady, she answered, a glass doesn't diminish the hand that holds it. It reflects the dignity of the one who drinks. Heads turned. The boom camera froze mid-swing. The MC glanced at the countdown clock, then at her, then back to the teleprompter that suddenly felt useless. Did she understand that? A producer whispered off stage. Jayla didn't fill the air. She let the silence do the breaking. Then, in English, crisp, if we switch languages to hide an insult, we can switch back to face it. The audience inhaled as one. The show had just changed owners. The studio lights burned white, brighter than any classroom Jayla had ever sat in. The billionaire, Kareem Al-Farid, smirked and leaned back. Parrot tricks, he said in English, dismissing her Arabic line like it was memorized. The MC forced a laugh, cute, but can she do more than copy a phrase? On the big screen behind them, a social wall flickered with comments, she's too young for this. Quota pic. Jayla's eyes dipped once, lashes low, fingers tightening on the mic. She inhaled. The camera zoomed closer, chasing the tension. Give her a test, Kareem snapped in Arabic, rapid fire. Tariffs, shipping lanes, numbers spun out like a trap. The crowd hushed. A graphic operator froze, hand hovering above the cut button. Jayla pictured her kitchen table at home, her mother's tired face, the dog-eared notebook where she had copied Al-Mutanabbi's verses beside charts of ports and trade. The sea divides in 3 routes, she began, steady in Arabic, tracing invisible lines with her finger in the air. The Gulf to Red Sea, the Mediterranean shift ports, and the South Asia detour. Her voice was low, but the room felt the current shift. She layered the figures, the insurance windows, the risks, each phrase snapping into place. A scholar in the front row muttered, half aloud, that cadence, that's not mimicry. Layla, Kareem's daughter, leaned forward, her hands tightening on her notepad. The MC cleared his throat, stalling for control. We, may need translation for our viewers, but no one looked at him. The comparison was already burning in every face. Kareem's taunt sounded sharp, but her answer built like stone. Kareem leaned forward, lips curling. Impressive performance, he said in English, voice dripping contempt. But this is television, not a classroom. Do you even belong here? The crowd stirred, uneasy laughter rippling across the rows of seats. Jayla didn't argue. She moved her mic closer, then lifted a folded envelope from her blazer pocket. She placed it flat on the glass table in front of them. Cameras zoomed instinctively. Kareem's smile faltered. He reached to snatch it up, but she held her hand over it. You already signed this, she said, voice calm. He froze. The audience leaned forward. The director whispered, stay on her, don't cut. For a heartbeat, Kareem said nothing. The silence swelled, tighter than any applause. Jayla opened the envelope and read aloud. Full Fellowship Grant. Al-Hassan Youth Language Program, signed by Kareem Al-Farid. Gasps scattered through the studio like breaking glass. The billionaire's hand slipped back into his lap. His jaw worked, but no sound came. He had mocked her fluency, but the paper in her hand screamed truth. Words can build walls, Jayla said into the mic, but they can also build bridges. This letter was your promise. Tonight, millions heard your test. Now, they hear my answer. The studio erupted. Some clapped, some shouted, some just stared. The billionaire stared at his cufflinks, pretending not to hear. But the cameras caught every flicker across his face. The control room crackled with voices, producers arguing whether to cut to commercial. But before they could, a second voice rose in the studio. Layla, Kareem's daughter, stood. "Father, she speaks like my professor. You cannot deny that." Her words landed sharper than the applause that followed. A giant screen behind them lit up. The network's fact-check team had pulled the document's digital record. The signature matched. Date, seal, everything. The truth flashed brighter than the spotlights. The air in the studio shifted. Audience members leaned forward, some holding up phones, capturing every angle. Kareem sank lower in his chair. The same stage that had once magnified his dominance now belonged to someone else. Jayla didn't raise her voice. She simply adjusted the mic stand and remained still. The cameras adjusted around her, as if the space itself now revolved in her orbit. The billionaire had been center stage. Now, he was background. The studio held its breath until a sound broke it. An older scholar in the front row stood, voice steady. "This girl carries more than words. She carries integrity." His declaration rolled through the audience like thunder. Jayla's hands trembled once at her sides, then steadied, gripping the mic stand. She didn't blink, didn't back away. Kareem finally lifted his eyes, but before he could speak, the MC cut in, voice cracking. "Ladies and gentlemen, you've witnessed history. Tonight, a 15-year-old just reminded us what truth sounds like." The crowd surged to its feet, applause shaking the rafters. Jayla stepped back, leaving a half-empty glass of water on the table. She didn't need to say more. The billionaire shifted in his seat, smaller than the silence he left behind. Backstage, her phone buzzed. A text from her mother: "You didn't just defend yourself. You defended us all." Jayla exhaled, the applause echoing in her chest. She had come on stage as a contestant. She walked off as a bridge.